Good morning! Here we are again. I'm getting quite used to doing these now. I'm going to miss them when we finish next week. Oh, moving a pen and tingling me drink. I've got a nice cup of tea this morning. So, ooh, it's still a bit warm. Okay, so we started this week. It's Tuesday really, but we started this week because we were looking at this. Sorry, I know it's a scrawly drawing, but it's the one I did while we were live. So we've talked about this section, which is the no section already, and we've talked about this section already, which means we're here. We're at the trust section. Okay, so you have to cover all of those. Hi Liz, hi Jane, lovely to have you here. Okay, so yeah, that's what we're covering. I actually had a realisation this morning. I was actually coming back from dropping my son at school, and on the way back, for some reason, the AIDA framework came into my head. I don't know if you remember the AIDA, attention, interest, desire and action. And actually that works really well with this one, because this is all your attention, this is getting your interest, this is the desire and action pulled into one really, and then you've also got the, the loyalty going on as well. Okay, so actually if you've heard of that one before, it's very, very similar to that, but I find this is a much easier way to kind of think about your marketing. So who we got? Hi Kirsty, hi Wemmy, hi Helen. Ada means cross stitch to me. Oh dear. Oh, that's funny. Crossover. Okay, so marketing. Marketing wise, definitely marketing wise. Okay, that's one you can teach me at some point soon, Jane. Okay, so just a quick reminder, as you just for those just joining me, we've covered this one. We've covered this one. This one's getting out there and being brave and being seen. There is an overlap between this two, which is having the opinion and being seen to be the wonderful person you are with the skills that you've got. This, the big factor, is consistency. We covered all of that yesterday. If you've missed any of the last 3 videos, then let me put you a link so you can grab the recordings, because they're only staying on, pin the comment, they're only staying on Facebook for 24 hours after they've been live. I'm using the expire function, so if you want to catch them, the only way now is to get the recordings. Okay, so I will do a nicer version of this at some point soon. So trust, that's what we're talking about today. So as always, you've noticed there's a pattern. Look, I've got my big list. I'm going to talk you through it. Small writing today because there's so much of it. So, are you ready? Have you got pen and paper in hand? Okay, so there's lots of factors when it comes to trust. These are in a random order. There's no order of importance because they're all equally as important. Okay, so your first one is where you sell. Where you sell is really, really important to your customer. If your customer is an avid fan of Etsy and they trust Etsy and they see you on Etsy, then actually this process gets a lot shorter, because if your search terms and your SEO on Etsy are really, really good, that you're coming up in all the right search terms, this has happened because Etsy have already put that in place. And when I say Etsy, it could be any popular marketplace website. I just happen to use that one because we all know who Etsy are. So they have covered a large part of that for you. So you can get away with kind of doing less, but you need to be coming up in those search results, and you are relying on Etsy's algorithms. So I would never rely on that solely, but it really does make a difference because you've got that happening and you haven't got to put quite so much work in yourself necessarily, as long as your keywords and your tags are all working. So that's the first one, is that can be really, really important. If you're selling from your own website, you can get the trust. You can fairly quickly get the trust. The average stat is I think it's down to like about 0.5% of people who visit a website for the first time will buy on the first visit. You need to get them to come back, which is where the like comes in. It's where that factor comes in. But if you've got a really shoddy looking website, if you've got a website which is that kind of, don't know if I trust that, it just doesn't look or feel right, then you're going to lose customers. If you've got PayPal is the normal form of payment, isn't it, online? It's the one that everybody knows now. There is a trust element with PayPal. So if you're using PayPal on your website and you're telling people it's PayPal, all your terms and conditions are in the right place. I've jumped ahead to another point. You've got all of that in the right place and everything looks smart. It looks professional. They can see how to get in touch with you. You respond to questions elsewhere, then you'll get the trust on your website as well. But it will take longer in some ways than sending people to somewhere like a third-party platform like Etsy. On the one hand, you haven't got the distraction on your website, because once people are on the website, they're only seeing your things as opposed to Etsy. So you've got to weigh up those pros and cons. If you're selling on social media, that's a really hard one to get past, isn't it? Because people need to know that they can get in touch with you, that you're going to be around for a while. You're not going to take their money and then do a runner because you can just close that Facebook page down and close that account down. So you do need to be careful when you're on a third-party social media platform and that's your only place for selling. Saying that, Facebook shops are coming into play now on Facebook pages, and they are a brilliant way around getting people to trust you on social media and on Facebook. But if you haven't got somewhere that you're sending them to, or you haven't got your own website, or you're not connecting with Etsy or anywhere else, then it still can have that little bit of question mark. So where you sell is really, really important. I don't know if you remember very first on day one of these series, I said that my favourite 4 words used to be product, price, place and promotion. Well, that where you sell is the place. That's how big it is. That if you're studying or you're looking at Chartered Institute of Marketing and the official theory behind marketing, those 4 factors are all equally important when it comes to marketing. The place, where you sell, how you get in front of your audience, it's 1 out of 4. That's 25% of the whole marketing concentration. That's a big thing. So that's how important that one is. Okay, so any questions? Make sure you ask them as we go along. Do like to know that you're here and you can hear me okay, especially after yesterday with everything pausing and freezing. Okay, so the other one, next one on my list, is being professional. Being professional is really important. If you kind of look like you don't care, if you're a bit scruffy around the edges in your business, then that's going to have an impact on people trusting you as well. And one of the things that and this is specifically taken from the very first module of Make Your Way to Success, where I'll go into this in really big detail, but actually one of the really important ones is even comes down to your email address. If I was handcraftedbusiness@gmail.com, it doesn't come across as anywhere near as professional as nicola@handcraftedbusiness.com. So those little details all add up and have a massive impact on trust, because you can go through all of this, and if this fails, they drop off. That's where these little arrows, I can't get the right way, the arrows come into play. Okay, because people are falling out at the edges. So this is why you need to get these right. So if you haven't sorted your own professional email address, get that sorted. Okay, so also being authentic. Authentic's one of those words at the moment. It kind of, well, very much last year really, though it was buzzing around all over the place. And actually, I'm not sure I really like it, but it's true in this instance when you're thinking about trust. You need to be honest, you need to be true, you need to be seen to be fair. In fact, I've got that as another note as well as a separate one. But you need to come across as if you genuinely care and you are really a genuine person. If kind of you've got this kind of yay public face going on, and then behind the scenes people are talking about you saying, oh well, no, it's not like that at all really. Once you get behind the scenes and deal with her, she kind of has no time for you. Then actually, that's not going to work, is it? Suddenly people are going to question everything that you do. Okay, so my next one is be legal. Okay, so terms and conditions, regulations that apply to your particular industry, children's toys, CE testing, being all up to date with the regulations. If you're doing soaps, then you need to be there. You need to be that person leading the way, even to the point where you're not selling Disney items, you're not doing Marvel items, you're not doing copyrighted items, because we know that they break the law. So if you want people to trust you, you've got to be trustworthy. So that is by making sure that you are completely and utterly legal. In June 2013, the Consumer Contract Regulations came in, and they are actually pretty good, and pretty much on the side of the seller, as long as your terms and conditions have everything in there that that needs to be covered, you are covered by that. So make sure you're covered. Make sure you've got all that in place that you need to have. If you're in the members club, there's a big class on it there. If not, I have got a blog post about it, and I can get that shared as well, so you can see the bullet points of what it is that you need to do. Seen to be fair, I've already mentioned that one. It's very much hand in hand with being authentic. It's that everything that you say in public, everybody else, your testimonials, your customers, they're all backing that up as well. If you're kind of saying, yes, I'm brilliant, I get this out in 2 days, you'll get it and it'll be there, and then all your kind of feedback is saying, actually, it took a week to come, the trust is going to go. We know this. Some of this is common sense. I know that it is, but it's so common sense that it's quite easy to miss and forget. So make sure you deliver what it is that you say you're going to deliver, and whenever things go wrong, you handle it, and you handle it professionally and courteously, and you don't go moaning about customers on your page in public, because you don't want to destroy the trust of future customers. Okay. Oh, testimonials. You can see what my head was thinking these through as I was writing them down. Testimonials are a great way to get trust. Make sure you use them. People will post on your page, they'll give you a review on your page, they'll give you a review, you can ask for them, then use them. If you've got a product for sale and someone's given you a specific review, list it in that product description. Tell them that people are loving this and are over the moon with what it is that you're delivering, or tell them where they can read your testimonials. There's no point having them and not using them. They are a wonderful way to garner trust. Really, really are. They are worth their weight in gold to you. So kind of be proactive with them. When you get a new testimonial, shout it from the rooftop. Tell everybody, say how over the moon you are. And if you can, if it's appropriate, get a photograph of your customer, or ask them to send you a photograph. Particularly works for weddings, if you're jewellery or anything else. That bride will happily send you a photograph of them wearing or using what it is that you've supplied them with. Then that's social proof. And because we're all on social media and there's so many people around, that social proof is really, really important. So that's another massive one. I'm trying to race through those because I'm trying to make sure we keep within 30 minutes. Okay, and have time for questions. So my next one is knowledge. I'm breaking up again. Okay, bear with me. It's just the door, I think. Okay, I think I've stay. Bear with me, we will carry on. I might look like I'm doing something else, but I'm not. Right, fingers crossed we can come back. I'll be back. I'm back. Am I back? No problem. Just what the problem is though. Whew. No, I've just run up and down the stairs and opened the living room door. Windows are open and the door got thrown shut. And at that point, when you said I disappeared, so it could be a pixelated and no sound. I'm debating starting a new one. I'm going to start a new one. Stop it.